she messing with your head. Done kinda crazy, just poison but tasty. People say
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Laisa Azka, and I'm the moderator from Group 1. And today, we're going to give a short presentation about corruption. But first, let me introduce my team member. I am Laisa Azka as the moderator, Vita Rahmawati as the first speaker, Ghiyats Ahmad as the second speaker, Salma Nada as the third speaker, Salsya Yunita Safitri as the fourth speaker, Laisa Azka as the fifth speaker, Ramdlan as the sixth speaker, and Riza Haidar as the last speaker. Our presentation is divided into several sections. Firstly, we will explain the definition of corruption itself. Secondly, we will give you one of corruption examples. Third, we will explain on how corruption can happen. Next, we will explain on how does Indonesian law deal with corruption cases. We're also going to talk on how this corruption still continue to occur even though there are many legal institutions. We will also give our argument about how corruption still happen these days. Okay then, let's start our discussion today.
What is corruption? Based on Law Number 31 of 1999, corruption is an act of any person who unlawfully commits an act of enriching oneself or another person or a corporation that can harm the country's finance or the country's economy. From a legal point of view, a criminal act of corruption fulfills the following elements: act against the law, abuse of authority, opportunity, or means enrich oneself, others, or corporation, and detrimental to state finance or the state economy. The types of corruption crimes include giving or receiving gifts or promise, bribes, embezzlement in office, extortion in office, participate in procurement for civil servants or state administrators, and receive gratuities.
What are the most popular corruption cases? The most popular corruption cases are the case of the procurement of IKTP. This case is the former chairman of the Golkar Party, Setia Novanto, which has been going on since 2011 with a total state loss of 2.3 trillion rupiah. There are about 280 witnesses examined in this case, and up to now there are 8 people who have been named as suspects. Sabri's case state loss in corruption at Vita Sabri reached 22.78 trillion. State loss arising from loss in the financial management of Vita Sabri's investment funds for a period of 2012 to 2019. This case, together with the names of Beni Jokor Saputro and Heru Hidayat, suspects who are also involved in the Jiwasraya corruption case, according to data from the Indonesian Corruption Watch. Report state loss due to corruption reached 26.83 trillion in semester 1, 2021. This amount increased 47.63% compared to the same period in the year 2020 by 18.70 trillion rupiah.
Corruption happens in most of cases because there are two factors that cause corruption: internal and external factor. Internal factor: 1. Greedy nature. Greedy people have a desire to increase wealth by doing actions that harm others, such as corruption. 2. Moral is not strong. People who do not have strong moral, of course, will be easily tempted to commit corruption. 3. Consumptive lifestyle. When someone has a consumptive lifestyle and the income is smaller than the consumption, then this will be cause of corruption. External factor. 1. Aspect of public attitude towards corruption, because people do not realize that the one who loses the most from corruption is himself. 2. Economic aspect. Because the income is considered insufficient, it can be the cause of corruption. 3. Political aspect. Because political interests are hungry for power, want to achieve and maintain office. 4. Organizational aspect. Because of the lack of exemplary leadership and the absence of the right organizational culture.
How does law system in Indonesia handle many corruption cases? Indonesia's law system is actually worthy to handle eradicate corruption cases. The government has also established a Corruption Eradication Commission (KPK), Ombudsman Commission (PPK), PPKP, and PPATK. Indonesia also has several law enforcers who are sufficient in handling corruption cases and a number of legal laws, one of which is Law Number 20 of 2001 concerning the eradication of corruption, that are the basic of legitimacy for eradicating corruption in Indonesia. Therefore, here what's wrong is in the commitment to law enforcers and the legal culture, because the legal culture of society and law enforcers very easily accept the bribes, and then they up supporting and even participate in corruption.
So, in my opinion, Indonesian law system is actually worth it in cases of corruption. But the commitment of law enforcers and legal culture of society is still very weak in dealing with corruption cases. That's why we must hone our self-awareness when committing to not commit fraud, because acts of corruption include acts that are very detrimental to themselves and even all parties. So, be a law enforcers who has a strong commitment in eradicating corruption, and be a society that has a sense of responsibility and is not easily bribed, because accepting bribes is the same as committing a crime of corruption.
Many factors have led to acts of corruption and will continue to occur, including less strict laws and poor mentality leader. And these things must be addressed completely if we want to reduce and eliminate acts of corruption in Indonesia. The democratic government system adopted by Indonesia is indeed very vulnerable to corruption because many parties can influence the government. The president can choose people who want to support him materially even though the person is not able to carry out his duties.
So, no matter how good the government system, no matter how strict the law, it will be useless if the mentality of the leaders and officials of this country is still bad. For that, now we have to wake up the leaders to improve their mentality, and if it can be fixed, it's better to replace them with leaders who are trustworthy and have a good mentality. We ask the young generation, the future leaders of the nation, must have our hearts and mean to be honest and not turn into a corruption mentality.
So, conclusion of our presentation today is corruption is an act that harms many parties in order to reach themselves. And according to data, corruption is increasing from year to year. Why is it increasing? Because so many factors occurs, such as internal, external, and leaders that are less assertive. Even though the legal system is good, it's just that the commitment of law enforcement officer is easily shaken just because of money. And for that, we must improve the commitment and mentality of the leader and law enforcers to avoid corruption cases. And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation today. It was such a pleasure to be here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Crazy, just boys and tasty. People say